So let's take a closer look at our example and follow the depreciation year after year and see how it works. Now, initially, we're going to be looking at that beginning basis of $1,000 that we talked about, right? That was the acquisition cost, meaning the purchase price plus any additional cost of acquisition. And that is $1,000 in this case. And under MACRS Depreciation, you're going to see that even though this formula is kind of crazy over here, you're going to see that that amounts to $200 in the first year. And I'm going to show you a way to use Publication 946 to come up with that amount without having some kind of crazy formulas. Again, the goal is to keep it simple. So what we're doing is we're calculating in each tax year the MACRS 200% DB depreciation, or 200% declining balance depreciation amount, and we're comparing that to straight line depreciation in each particular year. And the reason we're doing so is if we look back at the MACRS percentages here, we see that the MACRS 200% DB depreciation changes to straight line when the straight line method provides an equal or greater deduction, okay? So in each tax year, we're actually calculating both in parallel and seeing which one's bigger. In the tax year in which the straight line depreciation is equal to or greater than the 200% declining balance depreciation, then you switch to straight line depreciation for that tax year and for all subsequent tax years for that particular asset. And this is why I wrote a note down here. It says in year 4, given that the straight line depreciation amount is greater than or equal to the declining balance depreciation amount, the straight line depreciation is then used for that tax year and all tax years moving forward for that asset. We're going to touch base on that in a little bit. Just keep that in mind. So you're going to see that comparison happening right here on the spreadsheet. So for year 1, the MACRS depreciation comes out to 200, and then the straight line depreciation deduction comes out to 100. So in this case, the applicable method here is literally the greater of. So 200% DB is 200% declining balance. That's the greater deduction in year 1, and that's the one that's taken. Okay, so you're going to see that that's highlighted in blue, and that adjusts our basis down to $800, right? It's the 1,000 minus the 200. So in year 2, we take that $800 adjusted basis, we calculate MACRS depreciation yet again. We'll go over how to get this 320 amount in a little bit, but you'll see that that complicated formula can be made a lot simpler. So we compare that to straight line depreciation in this case, and we get 177.78. Clearly, the 200% DB wins out, and that's why we deduct 320 in year 2. That leaves us with an adjusted basis of 480. Let's keep going. In year 3, very similar situation. The MACRS depreciation exceeds the straight line. So again, we use the 200% declining balance amount, and we end up with an adjusted basis of 288. Now, year 4 is when this gets interesting, because the beginning basis being 288, we see that the MACRS depreciation that we calculate is exactly the same as the straight line. And you'll see I put a note down here that specifies that in any tax year in which the straight line is greater than or equal to the MACRS depreciation, then we switch over to straight line. And in year 4, it just so happens that it calculates to exactly the same amount. That's going to trigger the switch to straight line for that tax year and all subsequent tax years for that particular asset. So in this case, I just had this number in here just so you see that they're the same. But here we're switching over to the straight line column moving forward. And the 115.20 amount is the one that's being deducted in year 4. All right, so we end up with adjusted basis of 172.80 in year 5. Same kind of situation. You'll see that straight line again is being used because we've triggered it in year 4. And we end up with adjusted basis of 57.60. And in year 6, we simply deduct that full amount and we're done. Now again, I'm going to show you how to calculate these depreciation amounts much more simply than the formulas I used up here. Stay tuned. I got to save something till the end, right? All right, but that's what is the essential foundation for MACRS depreciation. Now, the one thing you'll find is that I have here a schedule of the depreciation percentages which happened every single year. And quite simply, I'm taking the beginning basis and I'm dividing that into the amount of depreciation that's taken in any particular year. And you'll see that it is being done for all of those subsequent years. And we're comparing the depreciation in each year against the beginning basis. We're not going in a cumulative fashion, right? We're still sticking to that initial number for the comparison. Now, let's just keep these numbers in mind for 1 second. And let's take a look at publication 946. So you'll see that at the bottom of publication 946, there are a bunch of handy-dandy tables. All right, I'm going to find the one that's applicable for us. All right. Okay, so here you're going to see that there's a table for 3, 5, 7-year, and 20-year property half-year convention. Half-year convention should sound pretty familiar because we just used it. All right, and that's denoted right here. So let's take a look at those percentages that I had here. All right, and let's make this so you can see the tax years in question. All right, okay, so look at these percentages and compare that to what we're seeing in publication 946. And you're going to see that in year 1, the depreciation deduction, again, this is MACRS yearly depreciation percentages. We got 20% in year 1, 20% in year 1, 32% in year 2, 32% in year 2, 19.20, 19.20, 11.52 in the next 2 tax years, and then 5.76, okay? So again, instead of using these formulas that I used, which can get a little bit involved because you're switching from one method of depreciation to the other in year 4 and so forth, so it's a little bit of a pain to actually make those calculations. What the IRS has done is gone out of their way and given you essentially the key to calculate the depreciation in each tax year right in publication 946. So you don't have to be a mathematician really to do this. You essentially just need to determine which asset you're dealing with. In this case, we're dealing with equipment, so it's a 5-year asset. And this gives you the depreciation deduction that you can take into account essentially every year. Okay, so it's very straightforward in that respect. And there are a whole set of different tables here that you can use to calculate depreciation. So it's very useful in that regard, in that you don't really have to get too scientific with the calculations themselves. You can essentially use what's provided in the tables for you. You just have to make sure you're using the correct table and that MACRS is applicable and that you don't have to use some other depreciation method, and that's where things can get kind of hairy. But again, we're keeping it very simple. I wanted to show you where the numbers come from and an easier way to go about calculating depreciation than having to use these formulas that I used here, because that can get a little involved. All right. So to review, let's kind of circle back and just see where we are. Now, we started with the cost basis, right? So we're taking into account the total acquisition price plus the cost of acquisition. On top of that, we're looking at what type of asset we acquired, and in this case, it would be equipment. So let's say a laptop that's being used by an architect for drafting purposes or a graphic designer, things like that. You know, run-of-the-mill average assets. We're not getting too exotic, just to keep it simple. So in knowing that we have equipment, we can look at publication 946 here and see where it falls in. And we basically made the determination that it's a qualified technological equipment asset, so it falls into the 5-year property category. On top of that, we have the recovery period, which is 5 years, all right? And the depreciation method is 200% DB. And we get that from page 34 here because it says that we can use 200% DB on non-farm 3, 5, 7, and 10-year property, okay? And on top of that, we have the convention, which is the half year. Let's take a look at the conventions here. It says which convention applies. And we take a look at the half year. It says use this convention if neither the mid-quarter nor the mid-month convention applies, okay? So you'd have to take a look at the requirements for each one of those, but you'll see that if you have 5-year property, it's essentially going to lead you here because the mid-quarter convention, if it's not applicable, won't apply. If it's not triggered, won't apply. The mid-month convention has to do with real estate-based assets, so residential rental property and non-residential rental property. So you're going to end up at the half-year convention when all is said and done. And hopefully this example kind of sheds some light on what's going on behind the scenes from a depreciation perspective when you're using MACRS. And just so you know, this example is actually presented right here in this publication, but unfortunately it's not in chart form, so let's see if I can find it. Okay, so here it is. All right, so on page 40, you can see that there is a pretty solid example, and just so happens that it says in February you placed into service depreciable property with a 5-year recovery period, okay, and a basis of $1,000. You do not elect to take Section 179, and the property does not qualify for a special depreciation allowance. Now again, I've done several videos on Section 179 and bonus depreciation. Those are provisions that allow for even more accelerated depreciation, that you can deduct most, if not all, of the cost of the asset in a particular year, meaning the first year you purchase and place it into service. We're assuming that none of those apply, so we can focus on MACRS for purposes of this video. But if you want to learn more about them, certainly check those videos out. I'll put the links in the description below. And you can see here, let me make it so we can see everything at the same time. All right, so here we could see that we have the first year being, you figure the depreciation rate under the 200% DB method by, dividing and so forth, gives you the formula. Anyway, when all is said and done, the depreciation for the first year is going to be 200 under the 200% DB method. And you'll see here that it says depreciation for straight line purposes is going to be 100. So here it is right there. And then year 2, they take you year by year, which is really unique in this example. So in the second year, you'll see that the 200% DB method is 320. Here we go. And the straight line depreciation is 178, which you can see right here. So what's happening in publication 946 is that they're taking you through this example step by step. Now, different people learn in different ways, so it may be helpful for you to understand it in this way by reading it and then seeing it in a chart form, because it may make a lot more sense in this manner. So that's why I chose that cost basis and 5-year equipment, because there is an example in 946 about this specific situation. I just wanted to illustrate it for you. Now, hopefully, this helps shed some light on how all of this comes together and how all these crazy figures are calculated. But just know that if all you knew was this right here, you can use the tables in the back of publication 946 to find out these percentages and simply multiply the beginning basis by each one of these to calculate what the depreciation is for every particular year. So that was a brief look at MACRS Depreciation. Now, hopefully this video was helpful in allowing you to understand the basics applicable to the provision and also make this whole thing a bit more approachable for you. Now, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified of future videos as soon as they're released. With that said, hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for watching. All right, we're getting through this bad boy. Yay. Quick and easy guide. Take you exactly through what you need. What the f? All right, so enough of my jibber jabber. Let's